This is the presentation of ethical hacking for my project. And what I did first is I checked my IP, and my IP is 192.168.43.106 with a nest mask of 255.255.255.0, and my network should be 192.168.43.0/24. So what I did next is I use Nmap to scan the network, and I use -SN to avoid a port scan, and I scanned the whole network, and I got the report here as the result, which give me an IP address of a device which is 192.168.43.235. Then what I did next is I compared the MAC address I got to the MAC address of the device I need to hack, which is the router, and they're similar, so it means I get the correct IP address. Then what I did next is I cracked the password, and I use MKBrutus to do it. There are a lot of other password cracking tool there, like Hydra, but I choose this because I don't know, because what I'm cracking is MikroTik. Then I use this command here, python 3 mkbrutus.py, and the target is the 192.168.43.235, and the destination of the possible password is like a dictionary. Then I use username, and I use admin as a username because it's the most common one that I use in MikroTik. Scanning network, cracking the password can take hours, weeks, or months depending on the complexity of the password. And I got the password here, which is the Maverick. So the username should be admin, and the password should be Maverick. Then what I did next is I download Winbox. As you can see, Winbox. Then I put the IP address of the router, then put the username, which is the admin, and the password, which is the Maverick. Then I check the IP so that I can see what other devices are connected on this. As you can see, the others it has an IP address of 1.1.1.1/24, which is for the Ethernet one, and the other one is 192.168.43.235 for Ethernet one as well. But in an Ethernet 2, it uses 192.168.0.1/24. So the server should be on the Ethernet 2. Then what I did next is I changed the route of my Kali so that it will write to the other side of the network of the router. As you can see, this is the route available, which is the 192.168.43.0. It's going out, which is. Then I enter this command to add the route of going to the server, which is the 192.168.0.0 with a net mask of 255.255.255.0, and I put also the gateway, which is the um, other side of the router, which is the 192.168.43.235. As you can see here, I can ping the other side of the router, which is the other side is the 192.168.0.1, and this is the other route, which is the 192.168.0.0 with a gateway of 192.168.43.35. Then what I did next is I tried to look for the IP address of the Windows server. So I can do a network scan on 192.168.0.0 network, but you can also find it on the firewall NAT rules, which is this one here. As you can see here, I tried to ping the server, which is the 192.168.0.2, but I failed. So I tried again to Nmap, which is the so I can see which port is open on the other side of the router, and it has open SSH, open telnet, domain on open, same as the HTTP, HTTPS, MySQL, and this one is unknown. Then I try to Nmap now this server, so that I can see how can I crack the password for the server. So as you can see here, the domain is open, HTTP is open, the MSRPC is open as well, HTTPS, MySQL, the MSWBT server, and this is the port we need to use to crack the password, and there's two unknown ports open. So what I tried to do next is I tried to connect to the server. I use command telnet.192.168.0.2 on port 80. As you can see here, it's connected, and I tried the browser, and this is what come out. Then what I did next is I tried to crack the password now here, and I use Encrack to crack it. And what I did is I download a possible usernames dictionaries, and I use RockU100.pwd for the possible passwords, and this is the IP address of the target, which is the 192.168.0.2, and I use fourth port 3389, which is the WBL server. As you can see here, WBT server, I mean, as you can see here, the administrator is the username, and the password is password 1234, and I tried to access the server, and as you can see here, it's the correct one if you compare it. So this is the mitigation needed so that the network and the server can have a secure network. First, what you need to do is use strong passwords. As you can see, it took me like not even like a week to crack the passwords, and success in cracking password mainly depends on whether you have physical access, what kind of encryption was used, and complexity of the password. There are hundreds of password cracking tools out there, but doesn't matter as long as you use a strong password. It will take years for those tools to crack them. Replace susceptible ports with secure ports. For example, it's like HTTPS instead of HTTP, or FTP instead of FTP, and the others. Secure the devices. Limit only IPs that can access the router and the server. It can be done through ACL or firewall. Separate the databases from web server using the DMZ approach to separate front devices from databases. And the best practice is to place the databases behind the firewall. And the last one is practice least privilege. Limit users with admin access, and this will minimize the risk of in case of a password or credential was cracked. That's all. Thank you.